I'll be reacting to Nighthead 2041, episode number 12. I will be watching it from Crunchyroll's website, and I'll be starting my reaction from the 1 minute and 5-second mark in 1-0 and go. Oh, hell yeah. I wonder where they're going to go with this. Because usually when anime start out like this, and especially for a season finale, in most cases, shit's going to be real. I don't think they were crazy at all because, if anything, I think it was better that Yuya, you try to find a way of covering all the bases. I don't think they were wrong in doing that one bit. Yo! Oh man, that looks. The suffering that Taka was going through looked pretty damn rough. Oh! I wonder what would have caused her to change perspective on that. Oh! Honestly, I think you should have expected that, though, considering the fact that she did say that killing them would no longer be allowed. Damn! What an asshole! She could have told him that without pulling the gun, and then it would have still gone through, and then he should have shot her. I think she's probably fucked up, though. And that's why she did that. You know what? It's best to be entrusted by the will of Yuya, Takia, and Ayato than some of the gung ho people in this series. So, you know what? Those are going to be the worst people living the fate of the world, too. He only has his pathetic self to blame, though. Oh. So she essentially did take over Amy's body there. Talk about some far-reaching abilities to actually be doing that. I hope we finally. I was wondering if they're gonna finally delve in deeper in the past because that's been the biggest thing itching my mind. Gotta admit, the music sounds so dang majestic. All right, finally we got them four bros together. Yeah, you actually made it in time, Rain Kane. Now I just hope they can stick their landing. But you know what? If it's the right path, then the difficulties don't matter as much. I like that self awareness there. takes a strong person to admit their faults and where they messed up. Especially someone as prideful as Takia, too. And also, that anyone deserves to go home, it's Naoya Naoto. Because they didn't ask for any of this shit. At all. Whoa. Oh, okay. I thought for a second there might have been a chance that our boys might have died and then been reborn as babies, because you never know with anime endings nowadays. Oh, that's actually kind of. Oh, that's kind of cute. You looked a little bit smug as a baby. Like, look at that face. You look fucking smug. I love it, though. I love it. Ah. I mean, the death of a pair of brothers? Is that going to be one of the answers? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because hey, I mean, at least they try to come up with a resolution, though. But yeah, it's still going to be a. Aww. Now this really makes me feel bad for Naruto here. But it has to be taking a lot of conviction, though. To be going through one and disappear. Now that, don't get me wrong, that type of thing I would expect from Naoya. From Naruto, though, shows you how much of a long way he's come. Hmm. I love how Yuya and I laugh over the petty shit over their older brothers. That's so fucking adorable. It's a shame though they understood each other right at the end though. But that's life though. Sometimes you don't realize something until it's too late. Unfortunately. It definitely does, because when it comes to playing a role, sometimes it comes with a lot of responsibilities that just have a heavy weight on your shoulders. Aww. It's nice getting to see the dialogue between these brothers. You're just seeing them in a lot more of a light. I wouldn't say lighthearted, but at least in the same, a more peaceful situation here. I mean, hey, it's a decision that Naya is making too, though. That's what Naya has to realize. They're helping out others. Yeah, that's got to count for a lot. Oh. I just love how it shows the massive amounts of bravery in Naya and him saying that. And the entrance songs really puts a lot more weight into this scene too. Kind of actually like the light effects and the particle effects. They look fucking good. Like honestly, Night 2041, if I'm being honest, it has the second best looking CG of the season. I mean, Love Live Superstar is number one when it comes to CG this season because its CG actually looks 2D, and Sunrise just has a higher budget to work with, most likely. No, they do have a higher budget to work with than the ones in Night 2041. But damn, considering 2041 isn't from a super big or renowned franchise, its budget probably isn't as high. So I gotta give props to the animators for bringing it all to life on what I'm assuming is an average tier budget in comparison to your normal anime. I kind of wish we would have seen more of Mikuria though. Don't get me wrong, I'm liking the finale so far, but when they show off moments like this, it's like they could have done more with Mikuria. They could have been doing more with the Prophet throughout the series, and I wish they did more of Shoko too. Oh, there's the plot device right there. Don't get me wrong, yo. I still like the series, but again, literally that scene emphasizes how much of a plot device Shoko is. Even the place that the script writers told them to go to, because the plot device told them to go there. I'm sorry, y'all. No matter what, whenever I see Shoko, my head's ringing plot device alarm bells. I'm assuming I'm not the only one that feels like that whenever I see Shoko, the parents. Am I imagining shit? No, I can't. Oh, yeah. I love me a happy family reunion. I'm assuming maybe their parents' memories were erased, though. Because their parents were looking at them like, oh, look, it's customers. Yeah, I had a feeling. But you know what? At least that gives. I know the CG, their children forms in CGI looked good. Running Pain. But you know what? At least Naoto and Yuya have at least a little bit more closure in their life. I'm gonna say they actually are hand drawing the parents. You can tell the animators spent more budget there. And then you know what? I don't blame them. You can tell Take's struggling so hard to just keep it in, his emotions in. And they're gonna outburst any moment till he lets his guard down. Almost memory manipulation. I mean, you've got people with grandiose abilities in the series. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. Oh boy, this lady. Okay, Kimmy looks like she's got her bitch face on now. Don't tell me the series is gonna end on a cliffhanger, because if it is, oh man. Oh. Oh fuck. And it looks like Takia and you aren't going to be inclined to following Kimi at all. Good. I'm actually glad that Takeo's putting his foot down. That's a damn good mention of the series right there. Where it's Matt's message of restricting thoughts is bad. The thing is, if you have barriers, people are going to want to resist, and they're going to rise up against the established order if thoughts are restricted. That's the issue. I wonder why I should be commenting on Nia's power. Unless she's planning on doing something. Well, wait. Oh, no. Wait, whoa. Holy fuck. Oh my. Okay, I was thinking that. Okay, what? Well then, I guess the SWB isn't. And hello, our hand-drawn children now, because I think it's one of the few times where we see him hand-drawn or in pain. Oh. Okay, good. Okay. I was getting worried there for a second. But our boys ain't up for that bullshit. Oh, okay. I thought for a second it was going to be something that was going to open the door to a season 2 that we're probably never going to get. Oh. Oh, it's nice to see they have memories back, parents. Oh. Oh. I mean, hey, you know what? No one want to blame them. All right. That actually, that is damn touching. Okay, at least they're doing more with the Prophet. At least here we're getting more characterization from them. Okay, wow. Wow. Oh. Okay, at least now to understand as to why talking use memories of all sorts of fucked up. Wow, okay. Shit. That was amazing. again, don't get me wrong. I loved how they finally showed us what went down. I This is what I mean. They really should have shown off Mikuria more so that this scene would have had more weight. Still a great scene regardless, though. That's damn sweet to see how much Nats and I were pulling the strings even early on in the series there. Oh boy. Oh, another Akira manga reference. Okay, that's good. At the very least, it implies that Yuya and Saki are actually changing the world of Night 2041. Okay, at least here we see that the status quo of the universe of this series is being affected at the very least. Okay. Oh, it actually landed its ending. All right. Holy shit. Honestly, I was expecting this series to not land its ending, but it did it. I'm surprised. Wait, an anime that doesn't completely fuck up its landing? That's rare. All right, I'm gonna give this one the episode a 9 out of 10. Great final episode. And as for the series itself, that's where I'm more conflicted because the series is uneven. Because here's the thing. The last episode's amazing. It is absolutely amazing, but the middle episodes of the series are completely rushed. So that's where I'm conflicted. So here's what I'm going to do. On my scale, since I just barely finished watching Edaton, I give Edaton, okay. On my scale, 1's abysmal, 5 is average, and 10 is exceptional. I give Edaton a 7 out of 10 because here's my rationale there. It had amazing characters, but the ending was botched, but it had great visuals and top of the line voice acting and music. The thing is, though, that series didn't rush things, but it had a botched ending. Here, great finale. Naoto, Yui, and I'm sad to end it too, Ryan Payne. Naoya, Naoto, Takia, and Yuya were all good characters. So there is that going for the series. And on other positives, the music was great. Great voice performances. But there were downsides, though, that I can't ignore. Here's the reason why. The series relied too much on plot devices. Because Mikuria was a plot device. Shoko was a plot device. The Prophet was a plot device. Those scientists that Naoto and I visited were plot device. Pretty much the series relied too much on plot devices. So here's the thing. Remember, y'all? And my skill, 5 is average and 10 is exceptional. So if I had to rate Nighthead 2041, I'm going to give it I think 6.5 out of 10. I think that's what, yeah, I'm going to rate it 6.5 out of 10. It's still above average. 6.5. But this series relied too much on plot devices, and the middle episodes were rushed. But still, though, 6.5 is above average. That's still above what I give a good portion of anime this season, because this series is that good. But let me break down first why I thought this episode was 9 out of 10 before I break down my rationale as to why I thought this series is 6.5 out of 10 worthy. Now, the reason why I thought this final episode was amazing is because finally, with explanation as to why Naoto and Naoya had those little flashes involving the parents of Taka and Yuya, and I thought I did it artfully. explain everything in a single episode because those flashbacks didn't feel rushed. What felt rushed was when they mentioned Mikaria, but that was more of an issue of the previous episodes, though. Yeah, Ryan Payne. If this series would have been 24 episodes, Ryan Payne, this series could have been like an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. And if a hand drawn, this series could have been even higher than that. But those things prevent it from being anything higher than a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Now, here are other things I love about the finale, though. It had great conflict resolution. For the most part, it resolved most plot points. The SWE became more lax when it comes to the restrictions on expression of freedom, and I do love that because it shows you that Yuya and Takia did successfully change the world of Nighthead 2041, that their actions were wasted. They actually made a difference, and I love that. I love it when protagonists affect the world that they live in. And same with Naoya and Takia. I love how they also helped them save the world and also change it too when it showed us the fact that those two were the ones that sparked the change to begin with saving the parents of Takia and Yuya in the first place. So this episode covered all of its bases, all these major bases in a single episode. That's why I thought narratively it was great. And I love how this episode had a unique resolution in that it didn't end with a major bombastic fight, but it ended with Nayetsu and Aya pretty much having the conviction of disappearing for the benefit of multiple people. And I love how they give it the rationale because when it comes to Naya, it makes sense why he'd do that. He's the type of person who'd be willing to suffer and help out other people. If Nayato, he's the person willing to go through with something if it's just something his little brother Naya's willing to go through. So the actions that our boys took were reasonable. That's what I thought from a script standpoint. The final episode was great, and from a character standpoint, it was amazing because not only did we see Naoto accept that he was going to disappear, we saw Takia change. He became a gentler individual, and I love that bit of camaraderie that the brothers had with each other before Naya disappeared. And I love the characterization with the parents too, because and seeing their acting abilities and trying to fool Kimmy just to play it safe was absolutely amazing. That was the type of emotional depth I was not expecting from this series at all, but it was powerful. So that's why from a character standpoint, it did amazing. Hell, I even love how the Prophet pitched in too. Yes, she's a plot device, but at least it showed us the writers remembered them to an extent. So that's from a character standpoint. The episode mostly did amazing overall. And the visuals for CGI standards, again, while it wasn't up to the standards of Love Live Superstars, Love Live Superstar does have a super ultra high mega budget because it does come from the Love Live franchise and Sunrise Studio. So naturally, they're going to have more money to work with than the Nighthead 2041 studio. I mean, it's two different productions. One of them is funded by a big franchise that can sell, like what, casually 17,000 Blu-rays like it's nothing. Well, Nighthead comes from a smaller franchise. So from a visual standpoint, the animators did great for what they had to work with. Being the second looking best CG animation of the season is nothing to sneeze about at all. I think the animators, they can leave proud after doing the series. They did wonderful. At least for CG standards of today, they did wonderful. As for other bits, for the final episode, music was beautiful. I love the insert song that they had in the episode. And on top of that, my goodness, the voice performances from Takia and Yuya's voice actors and actors, especially when you had the scene where they were talking with the parents, was freaking beautiful. And that's why I feel the episode was just utterly amazing. Now, for the series as to why I give it a 6.5 out of 10, I mean, I already mentioned why, but I'll go deeper into it. Throughout the series, in the promotional arts and in the images of the series, they always promote Shoko like an important character. But she isn't, though. Shoko literally was only there to provide information, and that's it. So Shoko is pretty much not a character at all. And you know the series wanted to make her a character because they even mentioned that She had a history with that telekinesis boy's mother. Then there was another issue I had with the series too, from a character standpoint. My issue was with how they handled the Prophet. Literally, she is the SWE leader, and they went from having her introduced in one episode. She gets bitched the fuck out in the episode that she was introduced in. Well, no, I guess she was introduced in the previous episode before she got bitched the fuck out, but she was introduced like maybe a few minutes before the previous episode. One of the previous episodes ended. Then she got bitched the fuck out. Then she shows up in a small bit just to slightly affect the narrative. But so I don't know about Shaw, but for someone like the Prophet, who was an SWE leader, that's a little bit of a disappointing of usage of her character, considering the title that she had. I think when it comes to Honda Civic Rain Pain, I think since Honda Civic was in rough shape, I think he might have hallucinated Kimi as the Prophet. I think that's no. I think it implies that maybe the Prophet had a presence in Kimi, and maybe he was able to see the Prophet through Kimi for that small bit. I think that's how it sounded, Rain Pain. The episode didn't explain it really. That's why when it comes to the last episode, I did give it a 9.5 out of 10 because, yeah, a few things were kind of unexplained. But I think they're implying that the Prophet's presence was inside of Kimi. I think that's what it's implied. Because this series does, yeah, I think that's what it was implying. Because having characters possess other characters doesn't seem like it'd be impossible in this franchise. I think that's what happened, Rain Pain. And then aside from some of the plot devices that are used, Mikuriya, he was emphasized as a man who helped shape the life of our boys, Naoto and Naoya. But for someone so important that shaped the lives of those two boys, we never really got to see enough of them, considering his importance in the narrative. So that's why, even though, yes, I did enjoy the series overall, I gotta point out problems like that. Yeah, that could also be a Rain Pain. Either way, well, I think the writers left it up to the interpretation. I kind of interpret it as the Prophet temporarily taking over Kimi, but that could also be it too. Thankfully, though, it's a question that it's an open-ended question that doesn't super narratively affect the series, at least in comparison to other anime like Odd Taxi, which has a super awful ending that definitely did affect its narrative. But I think it's going to be that case, or maybe it was the Prophet temporarily taking over Kimi. Yeah, I recognize the flaws too. I like this series, but it does have flaws though. And yeah, the biggest flaw is pretty much Rain Pain. Any character not named Taka, Yuya, Naoya, Naoto, they got fuck all for depth. Oh, and don't even get me started on the team members of Taka and Yuya, those other two members, which I completely forgot their names. Literally, one of the team members was the super angry dude that was jealous of Takia, and the lady chick that was there as waifu bait. I almost forgot. Yo, I almost forgot those two fuckers existed. Oh, shit. And no, I'm not going to look up their name on my anime list. Those two are like so irrelevant. I'm not even going to look up their name on my anime list, even though I could check. Fuck that shit. They're plot devices. They don't even deserve to be named. But yeah, that's the issue with this series. Good main characters, but bad supporting cast. That's why when it comes to my rating of the series, I got to limit it to a 6.5 out of 10. Because side characters do matter. Yes, main characters are important. And that's why I give the series an above average grade. But the side characters do matter. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the names, Rain Pain, Michio and Rekio. Yeah, but they are background characters, though. No, the thing is, though, this series emphasized them as side characters with how they handled them. So they handled them pretty poorly, Rain Pain. which is a shame because I think at least Reika had potential to be something, and they ruined her potential, the writers. If you ask me, anyway. But yeah, that's why, from a character standpoint, the series had major weaknesses. Now, from a story standpoint, it had major weaknesses too, though. I ain't gonna lie. The ending of the series is great. Start of the series is great. But I would have loved to have seen things a little bit more fleshed out, though. I would have loved to have seen, aside from getting more screen time with some of the side characters, I would have loved to have seen more of the time of the boys with Mikuria. That'd have been nice. And not just that, I would have loved to have seen Yuya and Aya have more grandiose feats throughout the series. Because don't get me wrong, I love that Takia and Ayata had a lot of action. But I felt like the younger brothers, I think it would have been nice to have seen them have much more it moments throughout the series. It's like, oh, damn, they made the presence known. Because really, Yuya and Naya, don't get me wrong, they were good characters, but they only really had those cool moments right at the end of the series. So that's why I felt they probably could handle things a little bit better narratively. Damn. It's a shame that they wasted Michio then in this version, Ryan Payne. Because I think he had potential. So that's why, from a story standpoint, I like the episode. But those are the weaknesses I found, and I can't ignore them. Because they're weaknesses. Nothing completely damning, though, because I enjoyed the series overall. But I'd be a lying sack of shit. I was like, oh, yes, it had no problems. Because it did. But overall, though, from a story standpoint, I still enjoyed it overall. And for it to stick its landing despite having 24 episodes cut down to 12 episodes is impressive. Now, from an animation standpoint, I actually liked it. Thought the CGI was mostly good. Yes, I preferred it be hand-drawn from start to finish. But for CG standards, it did a good job. At least it's better looking than D-Side the animation, because that anime, if y'all haven't seen D-Side the animation, oh boy, at least from the episodes I've seen so far, it's a disaster story. And the less said about that, the better. Although I do have to catch up. Maybe they get better in CGI in that series. But regardless of the fact, y'all, for CGI standards, it is damn good. And plus, at the very least, the facial expressions were decently rendered too. I'll give it credit for the animators. Yeah, I agree. I wish they had more childhood flashbacks, Ryan Payne. I think it was an missed opportunity not to have more of those. But that's what overall, visually, it kind of limits the series too, because it's going to make it harder for anyone to get into the series, considering that in a few years, since each CGI ages quicker than 2D animation, it's going to make this series look really bad in comparison to CG anime in like 5 to 6 years by now. While in comparison, you have anime like Cowboy Bebop that came out in the 90s that still look amazing by today's standards because of the proficiency in 2D craftsmanship. Or you've got anime from like the 80s like Grave of Fireflies. Or even Akira. This series is referencing Akira a lot. Like a truckload. Its biggest inspiration, well, one of the biggest inspirations in the series, Akira, which, if I'm not mistaken, the Akira movie, and I'm looking at what online right now to see when it came out, 1988. That came out in the 80s, and that looks amazing, even by today's standards. So that's why visually, yeah, the CGI is it's gonna fucking age it quickly. Because 2D animation, if done by the biggest pros, in the case of Akira, is the biggest example. And I'm going to use Akira because the series references the fuck out of Akira. Akira is, if I do the math properly, it is 33 years old. And it still looks amazing 33 years later. This series going to look good 33 years by now? It will not. It won't. Let's just be real. It won't. It won't. It fucking won't. I know because I've seen CGI animes that from like 3 or 4 years ago and they age out pretty poorly like 3 or 4 years later. That's why I know. But at least for today's standards, the CG looks good. But that's going to be a barrier, though, that I'm not going to ignore. And I know that's because if y'all see my reactions, I watch a fuckload of anime. fuckload. But yeah, that's how visually the visuals, while they look good for today's sentence, it's not gonna age well. I still enjoyed it though. Voice performances were absolutely phenomenal though. You can tell every voice actor and actress is involved. They put their all. And I fucking loved it. You can tell the passion behind the screen. And that's why I loved it. I love the work they put in. And I also thought, from a visual standpoint, the background art was really beautiful. And the music was pretty fucking badass. So that's why, if I had to rate the series overall, I come up with the 6.5 out of 10 rating for above average, because the Matt Skull 5 is average and 10 is exceptional. Because this series, it did things well, but I always felt like there was a caveat. I was like, well, the main characters are good, but then the side characters are like, eh. Or when it comes to, like, say, other things like, oh, well, the CGI standards were good for today, but then in like 5 or 10 years, then Love Live Superstar, it's like, that's why I had to give it a 6.5 out of 10, because it's like, there are things I like, but it's like every single time I liked something, it came with like a massive amount of caveats, And yeah, that's why I still think the series is above average. But yeah, that's why I can't give it anything higher than a 6.5 out of 10 for those of you that aren't curious about that. Because of my skill, I give it a 7. I don't even think I've given anything an 8 out of 10 this season. Love Live Superstars is good. That'll probably be like the only. If you're wondering what's going to be my 8 out of 10 this season, it's probably only going to be Love Live Superstar. Last season I had a fuckload of 8 out of 10 caliber anime, which was Vivi Floret's Ice Song. And it was also, I believe, 86. Yeah, last season was amazing. And then Fruits Basket was an 9 out of 10. Yeah, last season was fucking amazing. Last season was like an anomaly where it's like, oh shit, amazing. This season, yeah, Love Live seems to be like the only one that's in the upper echelon of anime for me this season. But regardless, I still enjoyed the series. And yeah, hope y'all now understand my rationale behind the score. Yeah, Sam, I enjoyed the series too, Rampage. Definitely. And I had a fun, I had a fun time. I enjoyed this way more than I could have ever expected, if I'm being honest. But yeah. Anyways, right before I go, y'all, because I'm either going to fall asleep or erect to meet you, because I do have to work tomorrow, but if I erect to meet you, I'm going to have to sleep like freaking 5 hours. I'll think about it, though. But right before I go, though, let me just say thank you very much for Rampage. And also thank you very much, everyone else, for watching my reaction. Hope y'all rate the video, share it, comment, or subscribe. And I'll see y'all later if you come back for more, because next season I'll be reacting to the non-sequel, non-spinoff stuff. So if any of y'all love my reactions, or any of y'all even watching an anime from next season, I'm most likely going to be reacting to it. Even the crappy ones. Even the fucking crappy ones. And I do finish off crappy anime. Y'all know I don't drop crappy anime either. Because I'm a crazy masochist and I watch shitty anime too. Like Gecky Idol and Idols. That's how you know how hardcore I am. And I watched every episode of Shadowverse too. And I reacted to it, all of Shadowverse. And Tomika Kazuna Guitarist Runner. And Bottleman. So yeah. If I didn't drop those series, then yeah. Just so y'all know. I honestly don't know why I can put up with crappy anime, but somehow I have a high high pain tolerance for bad anime. Just for those of you wondering, my pain tolerance for crap is fucking high. Oh, and I also reacted to Shuriken Shoki from this season, which was pretty crappy too. Can't forget about Shuriken Shoki. That series pissed me the fuck off. Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't think anyone... Yeah, that's true. I saw a lot of people didn't even react to Nighthead Rampage, unfortunately. But that happens, though. When anime CG Rampage, people don't care. Oh, Peach Boy Riverside. That's the other anime that I thought was pretty bad in its ending. Can't forget about Peach Boy Riverside. Its ending pissed me the fuck off. Yeah. But anyways, y'all. Thank you very much, Rampage, and also everyone else. And I'll see y'all later. Thank you very much, Sophia Howard. Hope you're having a great day right now, too. And also, thank you for joining me. So, yeah, right before I go then, because I'm going to either react to Udemy or fall to bed. One of those two, because I do got to work tomorrow. Because I know yesterday I slept 6 hours, and then the day before yesterday I slept 2 hours because I was moving. For those who are wondering. Oh, thank you very much, Ryan Payne. Well, anyways, thank you, everyone, and I hope y'all have a fun, awesome, and fantastic day or night, everyone. Bye-bye.